What is going on, everybody? My name is Ryan McFadden. I am one of the son-in-laws for this man right here, Bruce Langeman. And today we're going to be talking about disagreement, and we're excited that you can be here. But before we get started, if you're on YouTube, go ahead to that corner button, subscribe to us, or if you're on Facebook, hit that like button to Bruce Langeman Ministries. Now, Bruce, we're going to start today here talking about a topic of disagreement. And I really like the idea we talked about disagreement because you really recently posted a blog or a posting on your webpage, brucelangeman.com, about disagreement.
Yeah, and in my newsletter, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the one thing is about when we look in today's world, people will say disagreement is intolerance, or I don't want to do disagreement because I don't want to upset somebody, or multiple things. Truest definition, what is disagreement?
Yes, and this is a good follow-up to my article because I think that a lot of people look at disagreement as being negative, but actually there's bad disagreement, there's unacceptable disagreement, and then there's a disagreement that's virtuous. I'm talking about healthy disagreement. And when I'm talking about healthy disagreement, I'm talking about something that is vital for any team. Mm-hmm. On any team, when I say team, I'm just not talking about a basketball team. I'm not talking just about a leadership team at church. Ruthie and I are a team.
Exactly.
And you've been around here just in the last 2 days where you've seen that Ruthie and I have had some disagreement. Mm-hmm. Now, I can talk about it because disagreement doesn't equal conflict.
Right.
It was some things that we disagreed with about some of the things that were going, but it was great because what happens is disagreement pushes us to greater levels of truth.
Right.
Healthy truth. And, I've been working with teams for a long time. In fact, I deal with the subject of disagreement in my book, Kingdom Culture. But I find that it takes a mature person to know how to disagree. Mm-hmm. Because of some reasons I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
What are some reasons if you're a man, you've worked in leadership, you worked in leadership at the University of Iowa. And so you've been in environments where you've had to navigate through team dynamics.
Yep.
Why would people not disagree? What are the reasons that would keep someone in a team when you're having a discussion about a certain topic or a decision you have to make? Why would they not disagree? If they disagreed and their mind are hurt.
I look at people that they don't want to disagree because they don't want to hurt the other person's feelings. They think that if I bring this topic out, it's going to create more problems. The person's going to get hurt, or let alone I'm going to get hurt, and I don't want to feel that pain. Sometimes is they don't want to force. They think they don't want to force their ideas, their ideology. They don't want to provide some type of grace. But there's always a saying that I've learned about with disagreement, or even with you talk about even conflict, is you're not avoiding conflict, you're delaying conflict.
Oh, yes, okay.
And I think the same thing with that comes with disagreement. I would tell you this regarding to my marriage with Crystal, and we will say this is most of the time with people outside, the people I work with, the people I mentor, or people, I have no problem bringing up conflict with them. I have no problem telling them what my disagreement thoughts are. To my wife, I don't like it because I don't want to put her through pain in my mind.
Okay.
But in our marriage, she would be the one that usually brings up a disagreement.
I know her.
But she won't bring disagreement up with somebody else because she likes harmony.
That's right. She's a 2.
Exactly. A 2 on Enneagram, harmony on the Strengths Finders. She doesn't like conflict, but she has to bring it up because I won't bring it up. But we created something called Safe Zone. And it's an area that we can have a conversation, know that we love each other. We're just trying to prove it.
Yes. Okay, let me interrupt you there because safe zone is what it's all about. Mm-hmm. Ruthie and I, in our marriage and the teams at the places where I'm on a team or in charge of a team,
Yeah.
one of the first places we had to establish on a team is a safe place. And so there's certain dynamics that don't work I don't call it a safe zone, but that's a good name for it, safe zone. Certain dynamics like people who get defensive, people who get offended, people who get hurt, or there's some people who won't disagree because they're afraid of getting judged. Right. And see, that goes back to just insecurity. Insecurity says, I will protect myself and my own emotions rather than contributing something that's going to guide our decision in the right way.
Okay.
And that's a form of selfishness. And so this is a broad topic, but
it is.
But disagreement is for the mature.
So let me ask you this. You have somebody that has a hard time bringing up a disagreeable topic or doesn't want to disagree. Sure. How would you walk with that person to say, it's okay to have it disagree? You need to go and talk to this person. How would you encourage them?
Well, it depends on whether or not they have a safe zone to do that. Okay. Because if there are places where a disagreement is it's going to cause conflict. It's
right.
going to cause separation. And so even myself, I'm someone I'm not afraid. Nobody likes confrontation.
No.
But I'm not afraid of confrontation. But so I would encourage people, if there is a safe zone, I would encourage them to be more secure in who they are, and walk in their identity and establish the fact that the people need what you have.
Right.
And help them to locate the lies. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
These lies that come into your mind that says, oh, somebody's not going to like me. I'm going to offend somebody. They're going to get hurt. And I say, care about truth more than you care about what's going to happen.
Right.
And so on a team, you can't have someone on a team that's afraid to disagree on a healthy team.
Right. I have somebody that's on one of my teams at the church, and we were interviewing him. And he said this, which is really so stuck with me. And I know we don't want to talk about conflict, but I think sometimes conflict and disagreement can relate to each other. He goes, conflict can provide opportunities. And which disagreement can provide opportunities too. If you and I disagree about something, we can still stay stagnant, still have a relationship the same. We can go downhill because I don't want to bring it up and let it continue to fester and bother me. Or I can disagree with you, have a good, healthy conversation. We may agree to disagree at the end, but our relationship is hopefully to be stronger. And
you can encourage me to a more excellent way.
Right.
Or I can encourage you to a more excellent way.
Right.
And that's what it's all about.
And I think that sometimes we feel disagreement's going to bring somebody down. I feel, though, it's temporary, but it's rebuilding. It's rebuilding. We see biblically that, I'm thinking right now, when it comes to God calls us to refine us. So when it comes to like a plant or a tree, he cuts off the dead vines so we can provide new growth.
Right.
And disagreement is kind of like that. It's a purification or a pruning process, you want to say.
Yes, right. But Ryan, you are amazing at understanding profiles. You've done the Strength Finder, you've done the Enneagram, you understand the DISC. Okay, when we look at some of these personality profiles or even business profiles, or the very popular one, the Enneagram. Okay, you find you're a number
3. I'm the 3. I'm the performer.
And your wife is a number 2,
which is the helper.
Right. Okay. So the number 2 needs the number 3. The number 2 needs all the other numbers, but let's say between you and Crystal, your wife there, the 2 needs the 3, but the 3 needs the 2. And if you stay safe, you don't have a safe zone, then those places where you need to blend together to go forward. My wife's a 2. I don't know what number I am. but
You're like a -5. I don't know what. That's a different category.
Yeah, I know that I'm not high D. Ruthie would be. She's very high I. We're both high I, but she's more high D than me, and that's where we conflict sometimes. Because I can be very passive and forward motion, and she was. She wants to do it right now. But if we didn't disagree, how would I become a better person? How would she become a better person? Right. And that's why we need to, in marriage, on church teams, in business, where the world is based on teamwork, but teamwork doesn't work without having a safe zone where people can disagree. Now, here's the thing about disagreement. People think that disagreement means we're going to go from A to Z. And I say, no, disagreement can be just you're slanting a decision a little way. Mm-hmm. You're just disagreeing with one aspect of it.
But here's the thing I'm thinking about. You deal with people, you got different dynamics. And we're thinking is, if you and I disagree with something, we're at a good place that we can have a healthy conversation. That's great. That's like the holy grail. Like, boom, that works great. But we know the world doesn't work that way. There are just some people that just disagree because they want to disagree. They want to argue. They are, you want to say, very challenging, very difficult. Maybe it's because of their pride, their stubbornness, whatever it is. And there are people that disagree. And I'm like, I don't want to talk to them. Because no matter what I say, I'm going to hit a wall.
Sure. And
I don't want to bang my head against the wall. How do we navigate through those people? Because there's a part that you have the humility to go to somebody to disagree, but they don't want to come back, or they may think, but still not openness.
Yeah, well, it depends on the situation. If I feel like I can be an influence to someone, then I'll plow through. But for the most part, those are the kind of people that you have to have boundaries.
Yeah.
And, I have something to offer you, but you're not going to receive it. So, unfortunately, you don't get the privilege of me offering you what I have to change your life. But feeling bad for the person that they need to grow up to the place where they don't passionate people. And passionate is the word that I came up with. It's in my book, again, Kingdom Culture, but it's good to have passion. But sometimes when people disagree, they can passionate. They can take their passion and they can be so strong with their passion that they shut everybody else down. Like, how could anybody think different than what I'm saying? And even sometimes people in church, they use the thing, well, I was praying about this and God showed me. Well, that's passionating people.
Right.
So, but anyways, I think that there's probably a lot of people out here. Maybe those of you who listen, you're on a team. Maybe this is in your marriage.
Right.
And what we're saying to you is, like, is there a place where you have understood disagreement in a healthy fashion? And so when you hear the term disagreement, you think conflict and division or whatever. It doesn't have to be that way. In fact, it's a God-given dynamic. It's a God-given dynamic of relationship.
Right.
And so hopefully what we've shared gives you maybe some motivation and challenge to say, how can we do better? And like I always have to say, it's not that you did something wrong, but how can we always find a more excellent way?
All right, so you heard that right now. So first off, what we want you to do is go to brucelingeman.com. You can order the Kingdom Culture book right there, or you can go on Amazon, order that if you want to find some more information about disagreement. If you are here on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to that button right there. And at the same time, for our Facebook, like it to Bruce Lingeman Ministries. So if you want to find more, feel free to contact us. Anything else you want to say, Bruce?
Hey, thank you, Ryan.
All right. Rock on to the fullest, everybody.